Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin Matthew. Thank you for joining us. Coming up, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit envisions major employment potential for the Layou beach. A Paix Bouche resident turns 100 and the Ministry of Trade hosts a workshop on competition law. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Got it? Taking care of us can be so easy.
Take good care of the children.
Thank you for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit believes that the Layou beach is not being used to its full capacity, and if members of that community develop it further, it has the potential to become a major income earner. The Honorable Prime Minister visited the community of Layou on Monday to engage the people on the issues affecting them. During the meeting, the Prime Minister explained the economic benefits that could be derived from the beach.
White country hosts here maybe once a month or twice a month, what have you, beach volleyball in Layou. We used to have it many years before. White country have small goal and have teams from different parts of the country coming, not only during the Teachery Festival, because we have seen the impact of the Teachery Festival. Dominicans love to come to Layou when there's a fete in Layou. You understand? But it cannot be only the Teachery Festival. And I said back then, and I'm saying again, that the government is prepared to put the investments down on the beach to facilitate that kind of activity in Layou. We could build washroom facilities so when the guests come, there's a place that they can go. You can have proper setup for the vendors. So instead of everybody having a little setup here and there and so forth, we can have permanent setup there.
The Honorable Prime Minister challenged the community to engage their parliamentary representative to discuss this idea in detail on how to execute a plan and budget.
We have excellent fishermen here in Layou. So the fishermen go out, they come in with the fish, they sell the fish to us, to the vendors there. The vendors sell it now to those of us who come to partake in the sporting activities. You understand? So we would get people coming from different parts of the world and different parts of Dominica to come here and spend money. And if we have to do it at night time, so it'll generate more activities, then we can put lights out there. So I'm not talking about daytime only, but an opportunity where we can make better use of the beach.
Meantime, the Dominica leader presented potential sporting activities that could be hosted at the beach.
Small goal football is big business. It's a huge attraction. You understand? We could get the corporate community, the radio stations to come and carry it live and create the excitement that's required. You understand? We could have two teams of Layou, one of St. Joe, one from Vegas, you know, and so forth. Work with on volleyball, work with the National Volleyball Association, and let them see how they can partner with us. You know. They may provide the nets to us, or, and the tools that require the balls and so forth. So we can get them on board and let them become a partner in promoting volleyball. And certainly it will benefit the National Volleyball Association because you will have greater interest in the volleyball and eventually on the national stage.
In more news, April 27th was a special day for the community of Paix Bouche as villagers celebrated 100 years with beloved Mionette Gussie Banis, arguably the youngest looking centenarian on island. A number of people from the community itself and surrounding communities joined in the celebration, which began with a mass at the Paix Bouche Roman Catholic Church. His Excellency President Charles Savarin and his wife, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Portsmouth Ian Douglas, and the Honourable Member of Parliament for Paix Bouche Rosalind Paul, who also acted as Minister for Social Services, all joined in the celebration. The highlight of the Mass was a second reading delivered by the Lady of the Moment herself.
My help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who would watch over you will not slumber.
Mionette Gossi Banis, affectionately known as Ma Layou, was born in the village of Dubla on April 27, 1916. She had 10 siblings and herself bore 2 children. She married and moved to Paix Bouche in 1968. Ma Layou is known as a community person, lending support to all community events. At the age of 100, she is still an avid walker and often visits the sick and shut-in. Interestingly, she has never been hospitalized until the age of 99 to nurse a broken hand. MP for Paix Bouche and Acting Minister for Social Services Rosalind Paul addressed the birthday reception following the Mass.
We are here as friends, family, well-wishers, villagers, to stand in appreciation and commemoration of this great 100th anniversary of a woman who still stands quite strong and tall. And the government of Dominica, we do not leave our centenarians on their own. We continue to provide tremendous support to centenarians and other senior people in Dominica through institutions such as the Dominica Council on Aging, the Social Welfare Department within the Ministry of Social Affairs, Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs. And today, Mamos will be joining the other centenarians who receive every month $500 and a cooking gas.
Now that government is doing its part, His Excellency Charles Savre encouraged the villagers to lend their support to the Queen of the community.
And if for 100 years she has been giving to the community, I believe it is not too much to ask for the community now to begin to give to her.
His Excellency the President presented Ma Layou with a congratulatory letter on her milestone and a gift from the Office of the President. Several other presentations were made from the Ministry of Social Services, the Paix Bouche Dodan Village Council, the Dominica Council of Aging, and the Paix Bouche Young Action Club, among others. Ma Layou is the second centenarian celebrated in the Paix Bouche constituency this year and brings the number of centenarians living on the island to 22. The Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment hosted a one-day workshop on competition law and policy as it relates to CARIFORUM and the European Union's Economic Partnership Agreement. The one-day training is a Level 1 program designed to raise knowledge and awareness of competition law and policy and to build capacity among stakeholders in Dominica. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment, Karen Prevost, addressed the workshop's opening ceremony on Wednesday.
This is not the first workshop that we are having in competition law and policy, and the ministry, in its constant effort to ensure sensitization on relevance of issues of relevance to citizens, has collaborated with the CSME in the past and convened a similar workshop in October of 2015. But the effort continues, as this is a very important issue to the ministry, and we have seen the need to create an awareness of the benefits to customers and the economy of free and unfettered competition practices. This time, focus will be placed on the main elements of the emerging and evolving competition regimes in CARIFORUM and the relationships between the various institutions and courts of the region where the implementation of those regimes are concerned.
The CARICOM Competition Commission, CCC, is responsible for investigating cross-border anti-competitive conduct within the CARICOM single market and economy. They also promote fair competition in the CARICOM region. Romel Hippolyte, research economist at the CCC, was the main facilitator for the workshop.
Today we are hoping to at least expose everyone to the basics of competition law, and we are hoping to get everyone to understand their role in competition law enforcement, civil society, which includes consumer protection agencies, as well as the media, who have a very important job in reporting any business conduct that is out there that might be anti-competitive and might potentially harm consumer welfare.
He spoke of the importance of competition law and policy to not only consumers but businesses in the region.
Well, it's important because with the EPA and the closer integration between CARIFORUM and EU, what happens is that there is the risk that instead of national protectionist arrangements being put in place, we now have arrangements being put in place by private business enterprises that would try to prevent opportunities for us in the Caribbean within Europe. So it's very important for us to know what is competition law, where we can go to make a complaint, and the arrangement that the CARICOM has with the EU to try to stop any anti-competitive business conduct that might harm trade between the two regions.
This training forms part of the 10th European Development Fund project for capacity building within the CARIFORUM. Following the implementation of the National Land Use Policy in May 2015, the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and Investment is now looking into Phase 2 of the project, the National Physical Development Plan. At the presentation of the first draft of that plan on Tuesday, consultant Rory Bash of Dillon Consulting Limited noted that the significance of the plan lies in the fact that the NPDP goes into further detail as it relates to the geography of Dominica.
So where does the National Physical Development Plan pick up from where the National Land Use Policy left off? Well, it does two very important things. It puts things into a geographical context because it has maps, which is something that the National Land Use Policy didn't do. The National Land Use Policy talked about objectives and strategic direction and had guiding policies, but now the Physical Development Plan actually brings geography into the understanding of what's happening for the future of Dominica. And then other thing that the National Physical Development Plan does is it speaks more specifically about development policy. And it talks about where different types of land uses are going to occur in regards to allocating areas for agriculture and growth and those types of things, making sure that it's clearly defined in geography where we should not be developing, proposing areas for preservation or conservation, and then providing for infrastructure and facilities. So that is where the National Physical Development Plan meets together with the National Land Use Policy. The two pieces combined create a very strong planning framework in Dominica. They create a very strong framework for guiding the country forward, and they meet the legislative requirements for physical planning under the Physical Planning Act of 2002.
Front and center in the plan is the need to recognize the natural hazard and climate change risks that face Dominica.
The impacts of Tropical Storm Erica are still fresh in our minds, although the impacts of that were very distressing and unfortunate. I think the silver lining to the dark cloud has given us a firm resolve to ensure that as Dominica moves forward into the future, that we are being mindful of those risks and doing a better job of planning around areas where there's going to be challenges. And the other thing is if we're going to be building, we're going to be making better decisions around where we invest in infrastructure. And if we have to rebuild, the intent is to build back better, as opposed to potentially build in places that may be at risk once again. So that is a key component of the Physical Development Plan, and I think it would be a fair expectation of any plan for Dominica to recognize the significant amount of natural hazards and climate change risks that are faced here in the country.
The plan also makes a strong connection between environmental protection and tourism.
In other countries, historically, those two pieces have been diametrically opposed, and there's always been an argument between the natural environment and tourism. They've been seen as very polar. We either choose a pathway towards environmental protection or we choose a pathway towards tourism, and it's very difficult for those two to meet in other parts of the world. Whereas in Dominica, you've been able to successfully bring those two together, I think because of what Dominicans care about, is they really do care about the land and the water, and the forests and the wildlife and everything else, and that again links back to your passion about this island and the Nature Island vision. So the plan, not surprisingly, then continues that philosophy and continues down the pathway of finding that common ground on environmental protection and supporting tourism in all the different facets that fit with the Nature Island vision.
Bash congratulated the government of Dominica for being one of the few islands in the Eastern Caribbean to develop such a policy. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
I had a bleeding disorder that I did not know about, and they had to be transfusing me continuously. I got 56 units.
Being there at the blood bank, I was like, yo, I'm actually saving someone's life.
You never know when you can go.
Give blood. I have done it, and believe it or not, it don't hurt.
I won't be scared. I'll give. You know you're gonna give blood. I'll make sure she does.
Sit down at the blood bank in a comfortable environment for 45 minutes.
Helping people.
You are stimulating your body to make brand new cells.
You get free cookies, you get juice.
Glad to know your blood group. Feels good.
I felt as a better person.
It's a good thing to be alive, and I can thank God that I'm there and I'm enjoying life.
Welcome back. Following the devastation of a 7.8 magnitude earthquake which hit the country of Ecuador on Saturday, April 16, the staff and students of the Dominica State College are partnering with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to raise funds for that country. During the press conference to start off fundraising efforts, Director of Student Services and the Chairman of the DSC Ecuador Relief Committee, Edgar Hunter, stated that the fundraising efforts hits close to home. As of last year, 34 Ecuadorians became part of the DSC student body on a journey to learn to teach English.
This is truly a humanitarian crisis. Ecuador is a member of ALBA, like Dominica, and during our time of difficulty, for example, during Erica, ALBA came forward, and also Ecuador came forward to assist us. So we feel at the Dominica State College that we should help Ecuador during this difficult time.
President of the college, Dr. Donald Peters, encouraged the general public to give back in this time of need.
We are launching a major effort to gather water and food, canned foods and supplies, non-perishable food to send to the people of Ecuador in quick time. Our students themselves are required to bring food and canned foods and water to the college beginning next week. The process is ongoing. We are going to solicit cash for those who haven't got the time to donate food. We'll have an account at National Bank so people can make donations to the relief effort. Everyone in Dominica is invited to help. Doesn't matter how small it is. We expect schools to help. When we were in trouble here, I remember Antigua State College, Grenada Marisha College helped raise funds for us in Dominica. So we expect that the same thing will happen across the country. The students here have been very resilient. They have been working with us, all of them, and certainly if people want to reach out to them also, you can do so through our coordinator here at the college.
Coordinator of the international program, Elena Bowers, gave the list of activities.
The DSC has decided that we are going to enlist the assistance of the people of Dominica. I am sure that we all understand the position that Ecuador is. The situation is very dire, and we ourselves know how it feels to be in need and to actually have the international community respond. So on Saturday morning from 8 o'clock, we will have the DSC ambassadors, which are the local students, and we will have the Ecuadorian students. They will be in groups and they will go to the different supermarkets, Asafans, Whitchurch IGA, Save-A-Lot, Greens Wholesale, ACS, Miniez, and S-Mart. And they will be there to collect cash or goods from the patrons of these supermarkets. They will also provide some entertainment at each supermarket for about 20 minutes to half an hour.
These Ecuadorian students also appeal to the public for assistance for their country hit by its biggest earthquake in decades.
We are calling for you for your help, because if we join, we can help to our country, and the other islands we know that are doing the same.
I want to tell our Dominican people what is really victims of the earthquake need in Ecuador. So especially they need rice, oats, oil, tuna, sugar, salt, beans, water, toilet paper, soap, laundry soap, toothpaste, sanitary towels. Those are things that in Ecuador the victims of the earthquake needs in this moment, because in the first week they received a lot of donations. So nowadays the food is not enough, and we are really happy about the government and the authorities of the State College because of the contribution.
We are here because our country is in a difficult moment. Dominica lived the same thing not too long ago. That's why you understand our situation. We would like to ask for your help to support our country. At this time, we know that the Dominican people are helpful, affectionate, and can help in this real difficult situation that we are passing through. For this reason, we will encourage you to donate canned food, water, clothes, and medicine.
And that's news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique signé contrat pour travail infrastructure en sud pays avant l'impliqué $4 millions. Constituency Savane qui a bénéficié. Mon parlement pour constituency, Honorable Dr. Darrow, bien plaisir pour ce projet-là en constituency.
Comme un parlement pour Tissavan, avec Tissavan, c'est une constituency qui ravagé, Tropical America ravagé, ça c'est l'année passée, 27 août, l'année passée. Et nous savons que nous approchons l'autre hurricane season, ça c'est tout de suite dans 2 mois, 3 mois. Nous approchons l'autre hurricane season. Et ces villages-là, ces résidents, ces villages-là, ma Pichelin, Bagatelle, ces plaçages, ils gèrent ça comme concern. Contre safety live et même si nous avons fait travailler dans live pour live Pichelin il faut que nous fassions dans ce monde changer parce que tout le monde a parlé comme si le gouvernement pas jamais fait rien dans ces places là nous avons pour du feu McPherson parce que il y a 3 mois nous spend plus que $400,000 à commencer à live Pichelin. Comme nous avons toujours dit, nous attendons comme ministre, Premier ministre, ministre des Finances parler.
Sinon, Honorable Darrow, travail qui continue pendant le gouvernement qui attendait d'autres assistances qui promettent.
Nous avons espéré gros l'argent pour faire tout ça, nous avons créé ces permanent works là, nous savons après Hurricane, Tropical America, que le gouvernement et l'international organisation viennent pour commettre l'argent pour nous. Mais pas d'attendre nous avons espéré l'argent ça pour faire ces permanent works là, c'est Go River Wall, ces bêtises là, nous passons assis avec fait rien, nous n'est pour démontrer pour population que nous comme gouvernement nous que fait petit bagage ça nous paye pour ensure que chimie est plus safe et propriété plus safe et tous ces petits contrats là où nous aussi après midi c'est démonstration que le gouvernement sérieux et comme ouais c'est contractors mais c'est pas pièce go non il y a des qui ces contractors go extractor mais presque dire c'est contractors et quand même parlement pour gombe dio c'est une chance pour eux démontrer actuellement que sont capables pour faire travail là diligent pour assurer que fait travail là bien yo fait travail là en l'air et yo fait travail là within budget là so l'autre coup project vini yo que le gouvernement pas hésiter pour engager yo encore.
La nouvelle travail aussi infrastructure qui prend place en Guambe si l'on contract ici au gouvernement. Mon parlement Honorable Justin Charles bien plaisir pour travailler là.
Aujourd'hui, ça nous c'est signer contrat pour plusieurs petits travail qui nous pour faire entre Pichelin et puis Guambe pour privé bagatelle. Mais pour moi, m'en parler à Guambe, c'est mon plaisir, ça nous a fait ça présent because nous savons tropical storm Erika des ranger chimé Guambe sorti Pichelin pour vivre Guambe avec si nous ranger chimé ça là, il fait mouvement pour trafic avec pour monde qui mouvant les chemins là plus aisé. Nous savons si nous pas ranger chemin là qui est venu plus mauvais et qui coûter ces bus drivers là tout le monde qui n'y voiture en les chemins qui coûter nous plus et à même là nous savons nous apprécier approach weekend season avec nous savons c'est les live fort et qui damage chemin aussi nous commencer faire timer travail at least si un fait il pas que trop mauvais et nous que ça continue faire ça nous faire.
Selon Madame Charles, travail qui prend place à l'occasion Plainfield en Genève.
Nous avons contract sign, nous avons c'est beaucoup de sign un contract pour plus que $1 million. Avec travail ça là c'est pour manger là où on trouve bon Geneva Plainfield là où la live là dès manger chimé là avec transport partir ça en passé mais pour à présent là nous un temporary au fait pour transport passer so actuellement nous mettre un culvert là un concrete culvert et nous pour dredge live là avec nous also contract qui sign pour pont Geneva là après tropical storm Erika pont la penché timide avec so nous calé dresser pont là avec wanger tout il pour faire plus stable so mon content avec tout Tichimé ou tout des trois petits contracteurs encore sign pour travailler en les chimé faire pavement en les chimé so tout ça c'est pour aider pour faire la vie plus aisée pour nous en sauve là et nous que ça move from one area to another avec plus ease.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Before we go, here are a few announcements. The Division of Agriculture's Plant Protection and Quarantine Services wishes to remind exporters and importers of agricultural produce of the following. Importers must apply for and receive an import permit 5 working days prior to the arrival of the consignment. Consignments must be free of pests, properly packaged, and accompanied by a phytosanitary certificate. This certificate is valid for only 1 consignment. Exporters, you should apply and obtain a valid import permit from the country to which you are exporting. Produce should be clean, free of pests, and packaged in approved fresh produce boxes for export. Every consignment must meet the requirements of the importing country. Every consignment must be inspected by a quarantine inspector who will then issue a phytosanitary certificate. For more information, please contact the Division of Agriculture, Botanic Gardens in Roseau. Let us continue to work together to safeguard our fresh produce trade. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here in the news production team, I'm Mervin. Thanks for watching, and join us again next time for National Focus.